What's good, YouTube? It's Ray Jarrell. So in today's video, I want to show you guys this gun tight Y off mini scheme part 2. So if you enjoy this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn those post notifications on. So the playbook I'm in is the Jets playbook. Again, I'm in the Jets offensive playbook. Now, I believe the same exact formation and plays can be found in the 49ers offensive playbook also. So please make sure you check the description, and I'll have both of them because I believe it's the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken. But make sure you check the description and check and see if it's inside of any other playbook. But in today's video, I'm just going to quickly kind of talk about one thing in practice mode, and then we're going to go straight into gameplay because I took this, basically I picked the Jets just because, it's a Jets offense, and then I actually faced up against the Packers. So anytime you go against the Packers and you have a bad team, it's going to be a great game, and it really was a great game, and I'm excited to show you guys. But first and foremost, I do want to talk about personnel. So me personally, I love to have one of my fastest receivers here. Now, the reason why I like that is because this play right here, the jet touch pass and the jet pass fake zone are really nice to complement with each other, and you're going to see me do that in game. And I want to talk about this jet touch pass right here because actually in game it actually works really well versus man coverage, surprisingly. But you'll see that in the game. But first and foremost, what I want to talk about too is also this red zone scissors play. Now I want to talk about it versus man coverage because there's actually a lot of points in the game that I missed, and it's going to be also when you run this offense. Normally, you want to run this offense to where your two receivers right here or to the short side of the field. And the reason why is so when we run the jet touch passes and stuff like that, you'll be able to see that we'll have a lot more room out there. Now, for the most part, it actually works really well against man coverage, surprisingly. So one thing I like to do that you'll notice in the game, I like to make like dummy audibles, dummy hot routes. And then I'll actually click on this guy and I'll actually motion him and I'll click back a lot of times. But versus man coverage, some really interesting things happen. We actually get great blocks that line up with that particular jet touch pass. So you'll see that in game and you'll see how I like to use that. And also, if your opponent's actually playing a man coverage style like this, which is more than likely going to happen based on the things we can create with this route concept. I love this setup right here. Take square, put him on a streak, and then you want to motion this guy across. Now, this running back route, if it's not zone drop correctly, can get open. But more importantly, circle is going to do a great job of getting open. As long as you have some speed right there, you'll be able to actually burn right past that defender. And there's a lot of times in the game that I actually missed that read because I did not take that particular concept into practice mode. So if you want this to get open, I would suggest you put your second best receiver here and then probably put your best receiver right here. That will be the best way to run this offense. Now, quickly, last thing I want to show you is I believe if they have a third, so let's say worst case scenario, they have a third like this, I believe it can run past this. So let's shade over the top because anytime somebody plays that sell defense, that's what they'll do. And your read progression here is simple. You always want to look at the running back, then you want to look at triangle, and lastly, you want to look at circle if they are not zone dropping correctly. So circle can run past that third, so that's what I was trying to explain to you. So if they don't put that, if they put that third, you can still actually throw that, and it's a really nice man beater. And plus, that running back route is going to do a great job of getting open as well. So right after this replay, we're going to go ahead and dive into gameplay. So when you run this play right here, you always want to make sure you have a really athletic running back. It really helps because he's going to be able to get away from that defender. Now, if they zone drop a purple, like I was telling you, you basically want to make a two-way read. So you want to read between this in route and you want to look up at this up top because if they play a double purple concept, you'll have this. But if they play a too high safety concept, this route will be taken away. And then at that point, if they play too high safety, the user's going to have to be here. And so we'll look at the running back route, or if the user's on a running back, we'll hit that end route. So let's go ahead and dive right into the gameplay. So you guys said you like it whenever I show you guys gameplay and everything. So here we go. And also the way that I do my gameplays, you guys know, I like to actually show you guys everything. So as far as audibles, as far as me doing hot routes, and then after the play, me selecting new plays, I like to show you guys just everything. So that way, I don't know, I feel like it helps you guys learn a little better. So right here we got 1st and 10. So to me, when I look at this, I think man coverage. So basically, I'm going to do the man coverage that I showed you guys in part 1. If you have not checked out part 1, please go and check it out. It's a really nice video. And honestly, this offense was a lot of fun to run. Now right there, I could have threw triangle, yes. But I didn't want to get baited personally, but I know I could have threw it. So I went ahead and went with the safe read right there. Because one thing that's cool about that route, as I showed you guys in practice mode, is that it pulls up in the middle, but you could still throw it open if that makes sense. So we were able to get the fortunate animation right there. Now, 2nd and 10, this triangle route is actually really glitchy versus man coverage. Well, I'm not going to say glitchy, but it can definitely run away from the defender. It's a really nice man beater. So I'm going to go ahead and show that right now. So notice how he's going to run away from him right there. And I just get the worst, well, he gets the fortunate animation situation of tackling me, but it could have easily turned into a touchdown right there. But we do have first to go. Like I said, that was a 27-yard throw. So basically, they have to put a 25-yard zone drop to even stop that concept. And if they play that deep of a zone drop, then we can actually run another play with our running back that will actually utilize, you know, that route to where that 25 can't play it because it's too far back. So it's just a lot of unique things you can do out of this offense. But as you guys see right there, basically what I was doing was some dummy hot routes, dummy audibles, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on the guy and then send him in motion. Now, the reason I click on him is because your opponent can see whenever you click on your player, so they're gonna think, okay, he's, you know, grabbing that guy and putting him in motion. That's what I want them to think. So that way, when I run the ball, you know, that way they won't try to gap shoot. So watch what I do right here. So notice I'm pointing, doing dummy audibles, like I'm, you know, doing passing hot routes or something like that. Notice I click on him and then I press X to snap the ball, so it looks like an auto motion. Now notice how his user just gets completely confused. That's exactly why I do that. So anytime you're playing football, you know, whether it's Madden or real life, you want to make sure you use misdirection and you use smoke and mirrors, meaning that, like, oh, I'm going to make you think I'm doing this, but then I'm really going to do that. So that's exactly how you want to do that. As right there, we get the nice pick, and we do get the ball back. So you can tell right there, that's his second pick he threw, I believe, because it did show 2 for turnover. Now, the hard thing about 3-3-5 wide a lot of times is seeing if they're playing man or zone, because it can look the same. So right here, I'm actually doing a man-beaten setup. So basically that backside post, and I wanted to hold the user with a slant and then actually look at the running back. That was my thought process. So right there, I seen my slant a little too late, but, you know, Zadarius Smith is having none of that. And that's the only thing about playing the Packers when you don't have a good offense. So the Jets, as you can tell, don't have a good offense. Thankfully, they have a great offensive lineman, but I do have him on that left side to kind of help contain Zadarius Smith. But they also have Kenny Clark, which makes the Packers just really, really tough to deal with whenever somebody's playing that style of defense. But anyways, right here, I was trying to make his user have to choose, and I actually probably should have went up top. But that's the only reason, that's the only caution I would say to running that particular setup, is that you get put in those scenarios where you read a user. But what I should have done is actually put my backside hitch. I actually don't remember if I put it on that play or not, but if I did put that backside hitch, that's what I have it for. And that's the same exact setup that I showed you guys in practice mode, where that backside hitch actually will not be able to get guarded by a hook zone or a curl flat. They will literally have to man it up. Or vertical hook doesn't guard it either. But right here, this is actually another setup I like. So whether it's zone or man, we have some nice beaters. And kind of look at the running back right here. I was trying to hurry up and hit him, but I just didn't have enough time. You can tell I literally had everything open. He literally only rushed 2 people right there, and we just still didn't have enough time. One of the most unfortunate things in Madden is that when somebody can rush 2 people and you still barely have 3 seconds to throw the ball. But anyways, so we are back on offense, and like I told you guys, I seen that it was wide open, right? That running back, I really wanted it, and so basically, okay, so right here, I did decide to just run the ball. Now, what I should have done right here is double team the D tackle. So notice what happens when we don't double team him. Notice how he just came straight through. Now, that was particularly my fault. I don't know, does this happen to you guys too? So when I try to run the ball, I get like that little weird little, you know, stick the foot in the ground animation. I think it's because I hold R2 when I run the ball. I think that's why. Which that's something I need to correct, because I do not have good run stick, because I really don't run the ball like that. So that's why my run stick's always pretty bad. So don't judge me. But anyways, this is actually, like I said, another setup I like. So basically, I have a backside, we'll have a flood concept with a backside post. That's pretty much the route concept if you're curious about it. But right there, like I told you guys, I remember the running back route being open, so we are going to go ahead and hit it, which is why I said that this particular setup that you just see me run will absolutely destroy man coverage, and it will destroy zone coverage. It's actually a really great all-around setup because it just gives the opponent too much to have to worry about. So now a nice complement to that play is this one right here. So basically, we're going to treat triangle like a crossing route, and we're going to put square on an in route. So what that's going to do is allow us to actually hit the little gaps in the zone. So notice I had square right there, but look at triangle. He was wide open. I had an easy down on the sideline, got a throw out of sack, which is, you know, I really hate throw out of sacks. I feel like they should just throw they should throw the ball at the dirt or something like that. I just don't see how they just let you just chunk the ball up. Like, they don't even do that in real life, you know. So like, if somebody's, you know, if it's a true throw out of sack, a lot of times the quarterback's throwing the ball straight at the ground at the running back's feet or at the receiver's feet or something like that, you know. So I wish those were things they implemented. But right there, you notice how I clicked on my person and then sent them in motion. I do that so that way if I run the ball, it's going to be rather consistent. So right here, just like I told you guys in practice mode, if they zone drop, a lot of times your flats are going to be wide open. So we went ahead and took our flats. And that's why most of my concept that you see me put out is normally I have somebody in the flats, I have somebody intermediate, and I have somebody deep pushing back deep zones, because that concept will always stay true in Madden, no matter what. So this setup right here is actually one that I showed you. Actually, not this one. So what I should have done is put X on the drag, but I wanted to see if the user is going to sit on X or follow triangle. That was my thought process. So I'm reading it right here now. X was open. I could have lowballed that easily, but I just went ahead and tried to playmaker my circle route, and of course he drops the ball in classic Jets fashion. So one thing I have to work on as being a player, as you can tell, I always have reads open. Even on the plays, I might throw a pick, or I might have an incompletion, throw out a sack. Normally, there's always somebody that's going to be open, because every single concept I give you guys, you just have to find the open person. So that's what, to me, separates, you know, the elites from just average. And honestly, I think of myself as a pretty average Madden player, because I still miss my reads, you know. But right there, I noticed his user was going to fall off, because that R1 route, if I showed you guys that in practice mode. So that angle route stops running at a particular time, but that post route is going to keep running. So it's going to make that great high-low with the user that the user is not going to be expecting. So right here, I wanted to do this little setup again. We got 12 seconds to try to get in the end zone, and I did burn my timeout, which I really should have not done. I should have went out of bounds. So that was technically bad clock management by me, but it's okay, because we are going to throw a dot. So now we have 7 seconds. We're on the 6-yard line. So essentially right here, what I'm thinking is, okay, I can take a shot to the end zone. So if I don't get this shot play in the end zone, then what? It might be like, you know, 4 seconds left maybe, and then I'll be able to take 3. And then, you know, we'll go into halftime down 4 points. So that's my thought process. So I really love that corner out by the running back. So I was trying to think how I wanted to get it open in case he dropped the purple. So that's why you see me put X on the end route. I was trying to figure out what can I do to hold the user in the middle to where he doesn't shoot outside the guard R1. So right here, I'm going to put him X on a flat route, just in case he has a purple out there. And I'm going to put a circle on a slant just to hold the user in the middle so he don't go on my R1 route. So it happened exactly like I thought, and we get a great animation right there. And that route is really hard to guard in man coverage. It really destroys man coverage if you have a, you know, like a speedster back. It's going to just, especially Telvin Coleman, he's going to do a great job of getting open on that. So it is 14-14, man, and you know, we're fighting, man. Had to go through some adversity, but we still have this game very manageable. So right here, I was thinking about just doing a flood concept, so that's why you see I put circle on the streak, and our smart route X's route, we're going to go ahead and drag them, and then we're going to go ahead and motion over that post route. So just in case it's man coverage, we have a easy read to make. So circle, I completely missed that read right there, and you know, like I said, that's what I meant by average. And right there, we do a great job of playmaking them to the open spot. Try to get a little sticky, but we wasn't able to. But that's exactly what I meant when I tell you guys that I make mistakes. You know, like, you know, yes, I'm a YouTuber, but that doesn't mean that I'm just a robot and I'm just, you know, out here like the CPU hitting every single read. I miss reads too, you know. But what's made to me, what separates that is if you can realize that in game, like, oh hey, I had that open, so let me save it in my mind, not run it again, but let me save it, and then actually try to run it again at a later time. But right there, like I was telling you guys, that's how I like to use misdirection. So basically I do a bunch of audibles, hot routes, and then I'll click on him, and then I'll hit X to snap the ball, so that way it's the auto motion. So right here, another thing, anytime you run the ball and they have a D tackle that's got a ability on them, you always want to double team them no matter what. Even if nobody actually truly doubles him, what's going to happen is they're going to do great blocks. So right there, I tried to get out of there, but wasn't able to run away from Darnell Savage. But you can tell 2 rushes for 9 yards, man. I really don't run the ball, but if you was to run the ball using this offense, you could really do it. Like if you wanted to do the jet touch passes, the sweeps and all that, I recommend it. It's just when I make these videos, you know, you guys don't want to sit there and see me run, you know, jet pass, you know, 15 times and then put out a video. And right there, oh, that actually made me so mad. So if you go back and look, I actually had X screaming wide open from the start, and I literally did not have enough time to throw that. If I had any other quarterback like Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, A-Rod, I would have easily got that pass out there. So like I said, man, sometimes it's just things you can't control on this game. Unfortunate. I feel like at the least it should have just been a sack, you know. But I mean, I'm not complaining, you know. It's in the game, so nothing you can really do about it. So we're just gonna try to fight back, man. That's all we can do at this point. We've been playing great on offense, in my opinion. We've been having the correct route combos, hitting the correct reads. Now, this is a man beater that you see me do right here. So what I did was I put him on the backside slant to hold that user. So I did that just in case his responsibility was the running back and was going to have the running back wide open, as we did have him open, because that route right there is a great man beating route. So now, like I said, that's just being smart. That's why I feel like why I'm a content creator is because I can make those decisions. Now, like I said, I don't always make the best decisions. I know that, but you know, hey, I try. But first and 10, like I said, you see I was doing some dummy routes, dummy audibles, and then that way he doesn't really know. Now right there, I tried to just get a little too sticky. I probably should have just went straight outside, but I want you guys to see how the blocking actually aligned really perfect. And also another thing I want you guys to realize is that he's running 3-3-5 wide, which is the most, obviously one of the most meta defenses. Now he's not doing 3-3-5 normal to wide, but in a theory, I just really love this gameplay because I'm actually really blessed because this was the first opponent I faced, which, like I told you guys, I don't really just sit here and play all day. You know, I'll go in, load up a game, and if the game is pretty good, then I'll post it. So sometimes I'll have opponents where, like I said, they just sit there and just, I can't get on offense, or, you know, maybe I'm just having a bad game, missing all my reads, and I'm like, you know, it makes no point of posting this. So then I'll actually load up another game, and then I'll have a good game, or, you know, I actually hit my correct reads, however the case may be, then I'll be like, okay, cool. So any game that I could actually showcase an offense, that's what I'm doing. That's the game that's getting, you know, uploaded. So like I said, I play like, honestly, I play like 2 games max a day, you know, max. And because a lot of times, like I said, the first game is trying to, you know, figure out the scheme, or, you know, if it's actually a good game where I figure it out, that's the game that I get. Or then I'll do the next game, because 9 times out of 10, I'm not playing 2 opponents back to back who are just, you know, playing just scummy, I guess you could say, where they're just trying to act like it's a you know, not about to say CFL, trying to act like it's an MCS tournament or something like that. You know, those are opponents that just, you know, because they just literally just take the clock, milk the clock, run the ball, all that nonsense. But anyways, notice how I send them on motion and I act like I was going to do the sweep, and then right there I just get the weirdest animation, but somehow we end up getting in the end zone right there. So right here, 21-28. So he did end up just basically chewing clock the whole time. I guess he was just ready to get out of this game. So he literally chewed the clock, and then he did end up scoring. And that's how we got the ball right now. We got 25 seconds to see if we can go ahead and get a touchdown to seal this game, basically. So right here, I really love this setup too, because it's going to make the user choose between circle and R1. As right there, we are going to have triangle, because that route right there is a man-beating route. So that route concept is really good, and we're 15 for 18 for 270 for 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. So we're really playing good football, you know. So it's just a lot of unlucky things. And his offense, he was doing a lot of, you know, normal Packer user stuff where, you know, A-Rod is the only person who can make those throws type of thing. So, you know, like I said, a lot of times it's just a battle, man. It's hard to really play with the Jets, but like I said, it's definitely doable. As you can see, you know, clearly right here, that is definitely doable. But 13 seconds, man. And like I said, man, this offense surprisingly is really, really fun to run. So I really hope you guys are soaking in the setups and soaking in how I'm actually, you know, displaying this offense. Because yeah, you'll have a lot of fun using it. Yeah, that's all I can say. You have a lot of fun using it. But right here, I'm thinking man coverage. So basically, I did R1 on the option route because I knew that option route was going to turn to an out route. Put a slant, and my thought process right here was to move this user and throw a backside in route. But I did not even realize that was G. Alexander right there. Completely stupid. To me, that was the first mistake I made of the game. Well, probably second. But yeah, you can't do that. But anyways, man, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I do hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.